Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to review a box and craft a card. Subscribe if you like to see more videos like this. I also want to let you know that I am an ambassador for a company called what is it? Paper House Production. So this is the box that I was talking about. We'll get more into that ambassador moment in it later. But this is the Spectrum Noir box from HSN, and it's basically a grab bag. So this is their acrylic pen that was in the box. I'm trying to get the color right, the lighting right, so you can see the true color, because it's really not showing it. It's really not doing it justice. But in the box, I also got 2 ink pads. That was one of them, and this is the other. This is the metallic one, and the other one, it didn't say it was metallic, which I kind of really think you'll see later on. Here is the tri-color Spectrum Noir's Aqua. Now, everything we're going to get in this box will be from Spectrum Noir. This is the Aqua 3-in-1 markers, and they're paper pads, which I didn't know. Absolutely love. The cardstock is an 89 pound from what I was looking at. You get 30 sheets in here, 6x6 pad. You can see how nice and thick the paper is. Trying to get the color right again, because my light's not doing it justice. And I got another acrylic pen. This one is in silver. The other one was in blue. They said these are water-based, but they can be on glass and wood and everything else. This is another marker pack that I got. One has a pen side and one has, marker side, and one has a chisel side. Okay, so right here is the art liner. Like I said, everything is going to be from Spectrum Noir. You can see how it actually does look like an eyeliner pen. You can do it multiple widths with the amount of pressure that you put on it. So you see the top is like the thinnest. I'm making like little eyelash strokes with it and everything. Didn't realize the color was brown until I started drawing with it. And then I looked at the lid and it has a color on it. That was the only one that I really couldn't find on the site though. And then in the box, I got these 2 separate colors alone by themselves, which normally come in a pack of 3, which I think they are actually on in that box. So these are just like extra pins that they just threw in there. Oh my goodness, I could talk. And then right here is the Spectrum Noir's Aqua Tint. This is a water ink, and it's amazing. The lighting, once again, it's not doing it justice at all. So on the bottle, it's more of like a blue. It's almost like the color of the label. And the lid is, I don't know, it's showing it different colors just because of the lighting though. Because when I look at it normal, like in person, it shows it almost like the color of the label. So what we're going to do is try out these products. But first, I did want to let you know that these are going to be the colors in that box. But in each of these boxes that they give you with the markers, inside the box is detailed instructions on how you can use them, what colors blend with what. It gives you like a color wheel and ideas. So I'm sorry for this part. I thought my camera wasn't focused, so I had to refocus it. These are pretty light colors, and these ones are the alcohol based one. So keep that in mind when you're blending or whatever. You can't use like a water with a brush to blend them out, make them smooth. So here's that booklet I was telling you about. Gives you the tips and tricks. There's the color chart and all the markers, different color markers that you get. And then this one's for the Aqua one. And this one will show you blending tricks on it, which I have not mastered yet. But here are the different items that you can find on Spectrum Noir. With the Aqua, or we'll go into pricing right now. So that box that I just showed you was $14.95. That one is also $14.95. So alone, you just made up your $30. And the extra stuff that you're getting in the box is basically free. So those are the, what were they? The acrylic pins. They come in packs. Now, the stamps we're using is from Honeybee Stamps. Trying out the ink pads. I did go ahead and try this one off video. I decided I absolutely loved it. Loved it. Now, this one, this ink pad, it was a little bit more drier, as you can see. I pressed on it, you could see it, but you see that I'm pressing on it. And you could see that in the center of the cup, thing went in. But when I pressed down hard on it, it didn't really show. So I had to go back in. That ink pad was a little bit more drier on the drier side. So I had to go back in and press again, harder. So it would pick more of the pigment up on my stamp. You can see how more moist that one was. I'm just wiping my stamps with a baby wipe that I got at the Dollar Tree. This is just a brush. It's Royal. I think I bought that brush from Walmart. It came in a pack of like 20. And with this, you do not need a lot. I just picked up a little bit from the lid, and that's how much I was able to paint. And with whatever was left, I was able to also paint that top. So I mean, imagine what we can create with that bottle alone. And I'm sorry if you hear buzzing, but my aunt is texting me. Okay, so this is the acrylic paint that I wanted to try out. I've used multiple acrylic pens before, the paint pens before. I've used a couple from Walmart. Walmart used to carry some really good ones back in the day. I have some from the Dollar Tree. So this is the first time I'm actually using Spectrum Noirs. When you do it, you want to shake it so all the colors that's just sitting around is spread evenly, and then you want to press the tip so it bleeds into the tip. Now, do I recommend this for paper? No, I do not. Maybe watercolor, but not cardstock, because it stood wet a while. So this, I want to call it a paintbrush. You add water, you just unscrew the lid, you put some water in there, and it's an automatic watercolor brush. And you see how much wet it still is. And that is me recording in fast time. So it took a while for it to finally dry. So with these brushes, you just want to press down and allow the water to go to the tip. I normally just put the water on my hand. And then right here, I was trying to blend the colors together. I'm thinking that I just didn't get them closer together, close enough to actually blend them, but you can see how it softens the color. These are the Aqua ones. These are the only ones that you can use with water. But you see that they are buildable, but when you build them, you get lines. And when you use the water pen, it smooths out the lines, so it makes the coloring look like an actual watercolor, if that makes sense. You can use them as normal markers. But so I took this stamp, because this is a card that I previously did. I took this stamp and I stamped it using the Sizzix from scrapbook.com, as well as that stamp. I used the embossing powder to emboss the finer details. This is one of the try ones that I already had on hand, and I used the burgundy and the light brown, which I'll show you right now, for her hair and her skin. Then I used for the lips that color right there, and then for the eyeshadow I used that color, which I already had that marker in a previous kit from before. Now you can tell it's finally dry. It took about 10 minutes for that acrylic marker to dry on paper. And then with that previous stamp image that we did, I used that water paintbrush to smooth out the strokes, because I was trying to build up the color, and you could see a lot of the strokes, and we didn't want that on a card. So right here we are going to create another card using the Spectrum Noir products and some of my embossing powder that I have on hand. So this I use, it's from, I think it's Inkadoo. I got it on eBay. It just helps prevent the embossing powder from sticking to the paper. If it's staticky, it will stick to the paper. And you can see right there, it just rubbed right off. And I'm excited about that gray ink, because I got a gray ink to go with my silver embossing powder. It really made it stand out more. So these stamps I used from Honeybee Stamps, which I also got off of the coffee one. I got off of honeybees.com, but the words that match it I got off of scrapbooking.com. I'm sorry. So right here, I just wanted to see how this color, because it says it's pigment, wanted to see how it will show up on the black. And let's just say I am very impressed with the pigment. Again, wiping my stamps off with a baby wipe. Be aware that they are really pigment, so it did kind of stain my stamp a little bit. But I'm also using this embossing powder from Honeybees. I got actually off the site. Heating that up, and it is a glitter with a black base. That came in a trio set. They are Wow's trio sets from Honeybees. This is their personal blend that they did make. Wiping off the powder, which I should have left it, because I'd go back in and use some of the paper for some of the wording. Now this is right here is where I kind of get disappointed, because I do use one of the markers. It said pigment, opaque, right? Thinking it would show on black paper, and it does not. This is the alcohol based one. So I was going to do a test to show you that the water doesn't make a difference, but it's no point, because it already comes out really smooth. No matter how many lines you make, it comes out amazing. It is buildable, so you see some of the darker spots that I did to build some of the darker part of the coffee. Now right here, because that color is called cappuccino, this color, I don't know what this was called, but I wanted to give it more of a shadow. And then in the box, I'm using this sea green color, and then I'm going in with the shade darker to give it more shadows. So you can see right here how buildable and how beautiful it does look, but it doesn't show on the card. So I am disappointed. I thought it would show at least like a light brown, which would be good for, your acrylic colors. The stamping block I got from Stampin' Up, and then here is the Honeybee. Those are the words that I was talking about that I got off of scrapbooking.com. And I'm going to use the words saying, "You been on my mind." Now while you see me doing that, sorry, my husband keeps interrupting me. I'm using the clear embossing powder to go over the pigment ink, but real fast, I wanted to go over the ambassador program for Paper House products. So what it is, it's if you love stickers, stamps, journaling, anything that has to do with crafting, go on that site. I have a code that will give you 15% off, which I will put in the description box below. I also have a direct link that you can use. So, yeah, go and check them out. So, right here with part of the card, I am using the Honeybee's Coffee Bean stencil to create this background. And I used what is it? The distressed ink, the tea bag, and that brush. All I did was just brush it on there, put a little bit more pressure for some of the darker areas that I wanted on there. I was going to use the double-sided sticky tape, but decided not to, just in case. I'm using this Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. That way it'll give me some wiggle room to go ahead and place it down, because with the double-sided sticky tape, it gives you no wiggle room. When you stick it on there, it's done. So if you don't stick it on there straight, you're going to end up with a background that's probably going to be crooked. So that's why I use the glue. That way it did give me a little wiggle room, and I just added a little pressure, especially more towards the corner. That way it'll stay flat and flushed with the card. Now, with Honeybee's stamps, the stamps, they always come with a die set. Now, because these are a retired product, you're more than likely not going to be able to end up with the die set that comes with the stamps. You have to purchase them separate. So I'm cutting them out by hand, which I don't mind. It gives me a little bit more control, and it's going to take a little bit more time versus using a die set that would come with it. It is what it is. You can't control it. Their stuff is amazing. So, I mean, it is going to sell out. So right here, you'll just see that I'm taking my time trying to carefully cut out the image and the wording. And I am using the double-sided foam sticky tape, which I also got from the Dollar Tree store. They come in a pack of 3. And I'm going to be focusing more on the edges and the center, because when you heat embossing ripples the paper because you're using a heat gun. And if you apply heat to anything, paper, wood, it tends to warp, right? So I'm focusing on more of the areas that were a little bit more rippled. That way it stays flat. And I am using my scrapbooking.com tweezers that I also bought from the site to pick up my product. That way it doesn't get stuck to my fingers and I'm not making a mess of it myself. Which is really simple and easy to apply with pressing pressure, if I can talk, onto it so it sticks and it hits more. It has a good stick, especially with the ink. I did let it sit a little bit because distressed ink is also good for embossing as well. So it is a little bit more of a slow drying ink. And then I apply the words the same way, and that's it. That's how fast and easy it is to make a card. I tend to overthink things a little bit and try to make them a little bit harder than what they really are, but it's really not that. hard. It doesn't take that long. It took me probably about a half an hour to 40 minutes to go through the whole box and create this card. Inside you could create and write whatever you want, so the inside is blank. That's up to you. Completely forgot that I added these gems. The gems I got directly off of Honeybee Stamps site. They are the Prisma Gems sticker. You get 300 gems in a pack. I wish I could find an easier way to pick them up. I've seen the creator Kelly from Honeybees use a blade. I tried using my tweezers and my fingernails, and you'll see that I struggle a little bit with it. But they're gorgeous, and they're just the perfect way to add a little sparkle or that little, missing piece to your card, which I love. And they stick really good. They haven't fallen off. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. I hope that you have a chance to go and check out Paper House Productions and get to use my code for that 15% off. Have a nice day. Thanks. Bye.